Hi, this is Dan Sullivan. I'd like to welcome you to the Multiplier Mindset Podcast. So my success story for today is really a special one. First of all, because I've been great friends with Teresa Easler going back to the very early 1990s. Secondly, I've been very, very plugged in to Teresa's story over the last 25 years. So Teresa and Babs and I have always been hangout friends. We go to movies together, we go to dinner together, and this goes back 25 years. But the other thing is that Teresa is one of our associate coaches in Strategic Coach, and an enormous number of our clients have actually benefited for what Teresa actually does in her business, which is showing people how to make great presentations. So this is a very deep one for me because I have an enormous amount of inside knowledge about what Teresa's talking about. And what Teresa talks about are the setbacks that she's had as an entrepreneur, with the big one being a double whammy that happened when she divorced her first husband, who we knew really well, but that also ended a business. So not only ended her personal relationship, but actually ended her business, and she had to start completely from scratch in both her personal life and also in her business life. And what comes across here is just the enormous courage that Teresa had just to go through the negativity, transform the negativity, and come out with just the best possible personal relationship with her new husband, Bill, and also that she then created an entirely new business, and it was on the basis of that she actually became a coach and strategic coach. So when she talks to strategic coach clients, when she's coaching them, she's got an enormous amount of personal experience of having transformed herself to give people insight on how they can transform the setbacks that they have in their entrepreneurial business, not just in their business, but also in their personal life.
My name is Teresa Easler, and my business is in the area of communication. And I work with organizations in developing go-to-market messages that capture their secret sauce, that really captures what's unique about them. And the other thing that I do is I work with individuals on being great presenters and communicators. So people who work in sales, people who lead teams, even people who manage teams, so that they are amazing communicators. You know, I think I was always an entrepreneur. Even when I had a corporate job, I had entrepreneurial activities going on the outside of it. And when I left my last corporate job, which was in 1984, so I've been an entrepreneur full-time entrepreneur since 1984, it was mostly because I loved business and I could spot opportunities and I would just pursue them. Aside from side consulting, my first entrepreneurial business after leaving the corporate world was I had a gourmet dessert business in Tampa, Florida. I wasn't trained as a chef, but I could make great desserts. And it ended up being a whole business, and then it went from there. This particular business, I've worked in the field of communication since I was a kid. And one opportunity opened up and I pursued that one and another one and another one and another one, and here I am. In my career, and particularly in my entrepreneurial career, one of the biggest setbacks that I had was actually in a personal nature. My business partner was my husband, and we divorced. And that's a big deal. So we not only ended our marriage, we had to end our partnership and coming out of that. And it was a very difficult transition, as you can imagine. It was very emotional. And I'm very proud of how I handled it and what's happened since then. So a couple of things. One is that the dismantling of the business and the marriage was done at such a high level of integrity and honoring each other that I see it as a great example of what's possible of going through a divorce and ending a partnership. And the great thing was, I'm so grateful because I was part of Strategic Coach during that whole transition. I don't know how I would have navigated it without being in the program. And the big thing was that I kept my focus on what am I designing the next stage of my life to be? What does my business look like? What does my personal life look like? And all of that, that was my focus. One thing about being an entrepreneur is it's not all sweets and roses. There are tough times. We all experience them. And I think that one of the great gifts that I've had in being part of Strategic Coach, and one of the most important things that I've learned, is that sticking to the most important basic things, continuing to do what you love to do, design it the way you want it, to make sure you're focused on the right things and not getting pulled into all of the other stuff. If you just keep doing that step by step by step, you work your way through it.
So I have tremendous appreciation and gratitude that Teresa sees Strategic Coach as very crucial to the transformations that she's gone through, but continues to go through. And, I just want to point out that sometimes the transformation that we go through as entrepreneurs is taking a negative and turning it into a positive. But even more interesting is that when we actually make a transformation from negative to positive, we don't stop there. We keep taking then our successes and we transform them into much more comprehensive successes. And I see this over a 25-year lifetime that I've known Teresa. The beautiful thing about the entrepreneurial life is that there's not a division between your personal life and your business life. In the corporate world, oftentimes these are separate entities. How you perform in your business life is completely separate from your personal life. But the wonderful thing about the entrepreneurial life is that it's a 360-degree universe, and personal relates to business and business relates to personal. And Teresa's is just a terrific role model story for all entrepreneurs. And those who have had Teresa as a coach really know the impact of her personal examples on their professional life as well as on their personal life. Okay, so just to wrap up this terrific success story from Teresa Easler, we have a great ebook download, and all you have to do is go to selfmanagingcompany.coach.